versus Starcraft2 strategy.
Now in Game 5, we're going to have Duster be thrown out by Complexity Academy to go up against Kavika. I believe we have some information on him. Is that true?
Let me look that up real quick. I do believe that we do.
Game paused.
Yep, we absolutely do. So Duster is a Canadian player who joined Complexity Academy in February of this year, so another recent join. He's a full-time university student trying to get into med school, and he's an active player on the Ontario scene and currently resides in Waterloo, Canada. Apparently in his free time, he likes to play Counter-Strike Go, just casually. His playstyle could be described as methodology.
I know that. I know what you're talking about. I think that's a strange word that he came up with there.
Yeah.
Methodologically.
Yeah, methodology. Anyway, with methods. And very creative, and his build has a clear goal that's approached from in a unique manner. You can find him on Twitter at ColdDuster, ColdUstr. Although apparently the coach from that team is saying that might not be correct. So look him up and make sure it's him before you give him a follow.
Otherwise, somebody else will get the follow, but either way. Whatever. So, PvZ has been the flavor of the night.
Yeah, it looks like we got another one here, don't we?
We do. Kavika is going to be still representing the Zerg race, and Duster a Protoss. Will we see anything different? I mean, these players generally, these matches are played in a row, so they see what goes on. So I'm wondering if Duster maybe wants to throw something else into the pile and see what he comes out with.
Well, we've seen a lot of varying strategies tonight. It's been a lot of fun to watch thus far. Really neat interplay between the teams to see how they challenge the previous victor and challenge some of the builds that they've been seeing come out of them.
Also, we just want to take a moment before we proceed to give a big thanks to the sponsor of SC2CTL, DOS Keyboards, for putting up some cool prizes for the winners of this. They're giving up 5 keyboards plus some really cool swag for some other achievement type victories. If you go to SC2CTL.com, you can see all the details on that. Also follow at SC2CTL on Twitter, as well as WingnetSC and at Galligation.
You'll get all the updates on when we're going live and who's being played and all sorts of fun stuff like that. This tournament is just in the early stages. There's a lot more to watch in the coming months, so please stay tuned. You're going to see some great games.
Absolutely. With that, let's continue on with Game 5.
Game resumed.
Starting out in our lower right-hand corner, from Complexity Academy, is going to be the one, the only, Duster.
And spawning in the top left, our reigning champion from the previous game, representing Starcraft2Strategy, it is Kavika Akita.
Kavika apologizing for the BM dance move, but just saying everybody gets a little giddy. If it wasn't, I don't consider dancing BM. I think it's hilarious. Definitely puts a little flavor into things. What would be really cool is to, if you've got so much extra APM, to learn the different units to do the different dances and make a little actual party out of it. Get them all together and dance them around. Especially the Protoss with the Oracle with the disco ball,
Sounds like a great game, or a great way to lose a game, rather.
It would
Duster
be
putting a forward pylon up, getting ready to do the Forge Fast Expand. Throwing a probe out there, doing a little bit of a scout.
SC2 Invader in chat. I just wanted to touch on this a bit, as he did notice the quote-unquote BM as the statement there from the Complexity Academy captain. He did contact me about that and said that he got a little frustrated, but he talked to Kavika after the game and all was well. They made up, shook hands, gave hugs, all kinds of good stuff. So no feelings were harmed in the making of these games.
And it looks like Kavika's going for the same play he went for last game, putting down that hatchery in the natural, but there is a pylon there already, and he is going to see it.
Oh, Duster pulling all the probes to deal with this. He definitely does not want this to come down.
Forge going down by one of them before it comes in to start whacking.
Probe's not really just barely able to stay ahead of the building progress in the HP. If you see it just slowly going down as it's building. He's also putting a hatch at his actual natural as well, so it's pretty similar. Duster's going for the more traditional forge fast expand though, with the pylons a little bit forward though. It looks like he does actually cancel that. Doing a little extractor trick to keep the drone alive. But Duster with a nice pull of his probes there to put the squash on that. Looks like it's not going to affect his build all that much, as he's just going to go with forge first, then cannon, and eventually get this drone dealt with to move on with life. Spawning pool coming down as well. It's about half done. Hatch, everyone just going to continue on merrily. Overlord will see the expansion timing, no big deal, fairly standard. That drone's still coming around, causing some trouble though, as he's now making an extractor in the base.
And he's putting down another hatchery.
Oh, hello, hatchery in the base.
That is within the vision of Duster, though.
I wonder if he's just trying to bait Duster off of mining to deal with it, because he doesn't have any units, obviously, as his gateway is now just only a third done.
And there go the probes to try and do some damage there. And that's just, I mean, say what you will, it's an interesting tactic to try and keep those probes away from mining in this situation.
So if we look at the mining, it is a significant advantage, as Kavi is about 660 to 700 minerals a minute, whereas Duster is at about 400. So he's cutting his mining almost in half compared to himself. So is it worth 75 minerals? Maybe. If nothing else, it's fun to watch, right?
Absolutely. And for all these cancels, Kavika's only really lost 162 minerals thus far, putting off a lot of mining time.
I would definitely say that the probe pull definitely doesn't put Duster necessarily behind as far as minerals lost, but it does. I mean, these mind games, man, mind games. You know, as we saw in the last game, you know, Pooh was just looking so good in all of his games, and as soon as Kavika got in his head, that's when he faltered.
Mm-hmm. Kavika now putting down a third, while continuing to do extractor tricks on the gas, effectively limiting Duster to one gas.
It's not effectively, it's literally. But
Duster is also putting down a third, and there's a couple of lings going to go by and check it out, do realize that it's there.
Exactly the same thing I was going to say. That extractor does finish in the main base, but it looks like Duster's going to put one down at his expansion. Both players are going to be on 3 bases. Kavika does know about the third of Duster, but Duster's going to be putting down a cannon, so a couple lings isn't going to cut it for the harassment there. Looks like everyone's going to have to sit back a little bit and get some units going here. In chat says Kavika is trolling these guys, but he's trolling them well, because that's some pretty cool mind games, you know. I mean, that stuff really gets in my head when that happens, because, you know, if I've got a set build that the timings are pretty tight on, you just kind of have to roll with it, and it can sometimes throw you off quite a bit.
Now we do see lings running down, going to go try and deal with that third that's going in. That's finishing right now.
You can see this cannon is well protected by these 2 gateways, so the surface area is extremely low, so these Zerglings are only going to be able to hit it 3 at a time, so it's going to take quite a while to get it down.
Yeah, they are going to pay the price for killing it. Mothership Core coming down to try and do some additional damage. Lings chasing down a probe and going to go attack that Cybernetics Core.
I'm not sure who's representing the Starcraft2Strategy ID in chat, but he's definitely giving some compliments. It's like the Lings are going to try and take this Cyber Core down. Are they going to be able to get it down before this Sentry and Mothership Core tackle? And it looks like it's going to be real close, but not a chance. Duster does wait for those Lings to be gone before putting down a Stargate right at the front. This is the
his third does fall to those Lings.
Most interesting wall off ever, as he's got like Fort Knox going up here.
The Cybernetics Core was able to get finished, but it does fall. Another one immediately gets put down.
Looks like it's not going to delay Duster too awful much, as he does have a Stargate going down. He probably put that down preemptively, knowing that that was starting to falter. 4th base going down for Kavika. He's going to keep expanding while he uses his Lings to put on pressure. Ling speed is going to be finishing here in a few seconds, as well as ranged attack level 1. More Lings in production, Queens in production. All kinds of good stuff. SC2 Invader saying in chat, force fields. I don't know why he didn't use those. He must have a plan. Probably saving up energy for some hallucinations to see what Zerg is up to. That's, yep, as speak of the devil, there it is.
There it is.
As if you're not going robo, that's pretty much your only good way to get scouts in.
Kavika doing a really good job of keeping his eyes on Duster, though. He sees immediately that that third is going back down. He's got Lings going to the middle of the map, trying to break down those walls.
Fourth base about to come up for Kavika as this Phoenix comes in and sees everything, although he doesn't see anything too crazy. Just some bases, some gas, no huge structures. 11 roaches about to come out. So it looks like Kavika is going for that Ling Roach style play that he did last time. Creep making its way through the middle. One creep tuber at a time. Not sure if he lost the queen he usually uses for creep or not. That's one thing he has done in games past, is keep a creep queen going. Ling's running around to cause some shenanigans. Look like they're going to come down and harass the third base. A couple roaches wandering around as well.
Yep, they're trying to reinforce there. He's trying to get his units together to go push on this third again. There is a Phoenix there, but that's not going to be too helpful against these roaches and Lings.
Duster still is unaware of the fourth base of Kavika. So that Zergling with that roach intercepted a minute ago was pretty important because it was headed right up there to check it out. Looks like Duster's doing a really good job of microing the force fields in his units around here to try and protect this base while his units come. Phoenix don't kill roaches all that fast, so it's going to take a while.
Not fast enough, and in the meantime there's a lot of structural damage happening here.
Photon overcharge doing some damage. Phoenix trying to just slow down the DPS of these roaches mostly, as the attacks don't do that much damage. But it looks like it's going to fall. Kavika getting in a big lead here again. 2 bases up on his opponent with lots of roaches coming in. 20 Zerglings in production. Melee level 2 attack upgrade coming in, as well as a Hydra Den.
That's a attack missile, actually.
Sorry, did I say melee? My bad.
Yeah.
Missile attack level 2.
Well, again, we do see roaches against Phoenix, which is not super helpful, and there's just more Lings rallying across the map, although they decide to run back. Void Ray does come out. That's going to be a little bit more useful, but still, there's just so many roaches there.
I'm curious what Duster's plan was here with the Phoenix. I mean, obviously it was to, do some damage with them, but just Kavika catching him off guard and not being able to really get them out, but he's left
Those
with
roaches are just doing massive damage. Great force field keeping them out from the main stuff, though.
SC2 Invaders chat saying looks like we already replaced Stefano, as Kavika doing a nice roach influx here with Hydras to follow it up. All the buildings powered down at the front. Phoenix still just trying to lift up roaches to stop the DPS as another pylon comes up, gonna let that Void Ray finish. Looks like Duster does hold this off for the moment, but more units are gonna be streaming in behind. The Zerglings coming in. Void Ray's not that great against Zerglings and roaches, especially in these high numbers. Duster is supply block now as well, losing his pylons.
Unrelenting here. Just running in with these Lings, with these roaches. He's trying to do a lot of economic damage. Duster's using some good probe micro to keep them at bay, and they're going to run out.
Yeah, obviously, Kavika does have a economy advantage, but in the units lost, Duster is actually ahead by about 1,000. But if we look at income, Kavika is sitting about 400 in minerals and double the gas of his opponent, so that's going to start to snowball a bit here as he builds up a bank and transitions into another tech, which looks like just
Hydras.
Heavy upgrades and Hydras at the moment.
Yeah, a giant group of Hydras just finished. Those Phoenix are going to move in to try and see what they can pick off. They do find a couple of stray Hydras and pick those guys. Oh, but those Void Rays are not in a happy position there.
Oh, a three-way trap from these Hydras.
Oh.
Looks like Duster's lost focus on his Phoenix there a bit as they just take a little vacation.
And there's the GG from
There's
Duster.
the GG.
Man, oh man. Those Hydras really came in at just the right time, and great positioning on them to trap the air units, not really giving them an escape path, and he just lost so many units trying to get out of that.
This is a very good game indeed. It seemed like Kavika is definitely entertaining to watch. He's using a lot of interesting things going on here to just try and throw his opponent off. I mean, he's realizing that, Starcraft2 Strategy versus Complexity, these are two fairly, very high-ranking teams in the scene that people are aware of with very good players, and so it's got to take that extra little edge. And this is what I also love about community team league like this is, stuff like that can be more prevalent and maybe not be quite as serious, with a little bit of dancing, a little bit of mind games. Everybody loves that.